All right, so feel free to turn on your own music and we will go ahead and get started with this gentle flow. We're going to place our knees down on our mats and we are going to sit down onto our heels. If this is uncomfortable for you, you're welcome to, if you have some sort of a block, you can place it between your legs here and sit down on that, or a rolled up blanket or pillow or whatever you have available to you. And we will go ahead, we'll place our hands down on our thighs. We will sit up nice and tall, lifting up tall through the crown of the head. And we'll take a couple of breaths here. Go ahead and close your eyes. And we'll inhale through the nose, reaching our spine up long. And exhale through the mouth, letting our body relax a little bit. Inhaling through the nose, sitting up nice and tall. And exhaling through the mouth, letting our body relax a little. And continue with this breathing pattern, trying to deepen your breaths, maybe inhaling a little longer and matching your exhale to your inhale. If you'd like to set an intention for your practice, I invite you to do that now. If you'd like to dedicate your practice to someone, you can do that as well. And then we'll clear our minds and just focus on breathing here. Inhaling through the nose, maybe counting how long it takes you to inhale, and as you exhale, counting your exhale, trying to match your exhale to your inhale. Perhaps trying to extend the length of that inhale and extend the length of your exhale. Can you inhale an additional second here? And very slowly you can begin to open your eyes here. I'm going to turn so you can see what I'm doing. You can stay right where you are. We'll inhale, reach our arms up here, and as we exhale, we'll drop our right arm to the side as we reach that left arm up and over our ear, extending long through those left fingertips. Inhaling up through center, exhaling over to the left, reaching through those right fingertips. Inhaling up to center, exhaling over to the left. Really reaching out long through those left fingertips. Back to center. And we'll just continue flowing like this with your own breath here. As fast or as slow as feels good to you. Just making sure that we're keeping our body up and lifted. Keeping our chest open. And really reaching through the fingertips here. And we'll even out our sides and bring our hands to prayer. And turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. I'm still sitting back on my heels. I'm going to bring my hands behind me, my fingers pointed towards my glutes. And slowly I'm going to lower myself back and begin lifting my hips, coming into modified reverse plank here. So my fingertips are pointed towards my body. I'm lifting my hips up. I'm extending my neck. I can lean my head back if it feels good. Taking a few breaths here and then slowly lowering my hips back down. Sitting myself up again, and I'm going to begin walking my hands forward to a child's pose with my legs together. Reaching my arms forward, extending. Using my fingers to grip the mat or the floor to pull myself a little deeper. And then I'm going to walk myself back up. I'm going to walk my hands back once again, and I'm going to come into that modified reverse plank here, lifting my hips up to the sky, maybe tilting, letting my head fall back if it's comfortable. Taking a few breaths here and lowering my hips back down. Walking my hands forward, coming into that child's pose with my legs together once again. And inhaling, walking my hands back one more time. All the way behind me. And once more, lifting my hips into that modified reverse plank here. And slowly lowering my hips back down as I walk my fingertips forward to child's pose again. And in child's pose here, I'm going to take an inhale and I'm going to use my exhale to draw myself up, not just a tabletop, but through tabletop up to cat pose. Sucking my belly button into my spine, arching my back, pulling my chin into my chest. And as I inhale, let my belly drop, raising my sternum, opening my throat, coming into cow pose. And then I'll sit back on my heels to child's pose. Taking an inhale here, and as I exhale, drawing my belly button up to my spine, arching my back, coming into cat. Inhaling, letting my belly hang. Opening, lifting the sternum, opening my throat, coming into cow, and sitting back on my heels to child's pose. And go ahead and take a few more flows like this with your own breath, as fast or as slow as feels good to you. Really over-exaggerating the movements here, getting the most out of this flow. Feeling that stretch as much as you can, feeling the arch in your back. Feeling the release. This is a great flow for lower back pain, along with supine twists and forward folds and things like that. And we'll take one more flow, and then we'll all meet up in child's pose. So we'll rest here for a moment in child's pose. If this practice ever gets to be too much for you, you're welcome to come back to this child's pose to rest, or if any practice. If you feel like you need a break, here's your resting pose. And we'll take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll draw ourselves up to hands and knees, coming into tabletop position. Taking a moment to check our alignment here, making sure that we're spreading the fingertips wide and really pressing into the hands, that the wrists are below the shoulders, the knees are below our hips. Our belly button is pulled into our spine, and our spine is long and flat from the crown of our head to our tailbone here. Really pressing into the hands, we're going to tuck the toes under and hover our knees just an inch above the ground for bear pose. And then slowly we're going to start pressing our chest back towards our bent knees, coming into halfway down dog. And we're going to pedal the feet, coming into full downward facing dog. And you're welcome to take a moment here in this first down dog to continue pedaling the feet. If it feels good, you can sway the hips from side to side. Just do whatever feels good to you in this first down dog. And we'll make sure that we're pressing into the hands, pressing that chest back towards our thighs. And slowly we're going to begin bending into the knees, coming through that halfway down dog position. hovering the knees above the ground for bear, dropping the knees for table, and sitting back on our heels to child's pose. Taking an inhale here, and as we exhale, drawing ourselves back up to table, tucking the toes, hovering the knees for bear, pressing our chest back towards our thighs for halfway down dog, lifting our hips for downward facing dog. Bending into the knees, coming through that halfway down dog, hovering the knees above the ground for bear, dropping the knees for table, and sitting back on the heels to child's pose. Inhaling here, exhaling ourselves up to table, tucking the toes, hovering the knees for bear, pressing our chest back towards our thighs for halfway down dog, and lifting our hips to downward facing dog. And this down dog will hold for a few breaths, so really make sure you're spreading the fingertips wide, pressing the hands into the mat, pressing your chest back towards your thighs, trying to press your heels back towards the ground, getting the most out of the stretch here. We'll take another breath, and slowly we'll start to roll forward on the toes, coming into plank pose. We'll drop the knees to the ground, and slowly we'll lower our chest and our chin down towards the ground. And we'll bring our hands back behind us, our hands back to our sides. We'll take an inhale, and we're gonna press our feet into the floor, and we're gonna keep our legs and our hips and our feet all glued against the floor, but we're gonna inhale here, and we're gonna start lifting our shoulders and our chest up off the ground, reaching our hands back behind us for half locust here, and squeezing our hands together like we're trying to squeeze a block between them. And exhale, slowly lowering yourself down towards the ground once again. We'll do that one more time. We'll inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll draw our shoulders and our chest up off the ground, squeezing our hands behind us like we're trying to hold a block, and slowly lowering back down towards the ground. This time, instead of pressing our feet into the ground, we're gonna lift our feet and our legs as well, coming into full locust here. So take an inhale, and as you exhale, draw your shoulders, draw your chest, draw your feet, draw your legs up, reaching out through those toes, extending them long, pointing the toes, reaching the arms out behind you, squeezing them together like you're trying to squeeze a block, and exhale, gently release yourself down to the mat. This time we're gonna go ahead and bend our knees, and reach your arms back and take a hold of your ankles or your feet or whatever's available to you. We're gonna take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we're gonna draw ourselves up to bow pose, flexing the feet, kicking the feet into the hands, lifting the chest, lifting the shoulders, line up. Taking an inhale, maybe trying to reach ourselves a little higher, and then exhale, go ahead and release everything down to the mat. And we'll bring our hands up underneath our shoulders, and we'll come up to our knees, pressing into that tabletop position. Once again, lifting our knees, bending our knees, pressing our chest back towards our thighs, and slowly lifting our hips up to downward facing dog. And looking forward, we'll keep our legs as straight as long as we can as we start tiptoeing ourselves up towards the top of the mat here, coming into forward fold. And in this forward fold, go ahead and bend your knees as much as you need to bring your chest down towards your thighs. And if you'd like to, you're welcome to grab your elbows, you can sway from side to side, or you can let your hands hang down as you sway from side to side in ragdoll. Another option is to grab behind your calves or your ankles to pull yourself a little deeper into this forward fold. You're welcome to pick which option feels best to you this morning. And we'll press our hands into our shins as we slowly start lifting ourselves up halfway with a long flat back from the crown of our head to our tailbone. And exhale, bend back into that forward fold. We'll place our hands on our hips, and we'll lift our elbows, lift our chest, lift our chin, coming up with a flat back here. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, hands to prayer. One more time. Inhale, arms reach up. Hands come to prayer. We'll start bending that right knee and we'll bring the right heel in towards our glute. Go ahead and reach back and hold on to that right foot here, doing a little quad stretch. Trying to get that heel in as close as you can to the glute while still keeping your legs side by side. So you don't want that leg out or in front of you, just right next to your other leg. And gently release it. One more time, we'll inhale up. Exhale, our hands to prayer. And now we'll go ahead and bend that left knee, bringing that left heel into our glute. Reaching our hands back for a quad stretch here. Keeping our legs together, side by side. Pulling that heel in as close as we can get it to our glute. And gently we'll release the foot. Inhale, arms reach up. And as we exhale, we'll swan dive down with a flat back, coming into that forward fold. Hands on shins, halfway lift. Forward fold. And as you inhale, reverse swan dive up with a flat back. Hands come to prayer. Inhale once again. And exhale, hands come to prayer. This time, we're going to ground into the left foot here, come up on the right toes, and slowly begin lifting that right leg up towards our chest. Using our hands to pull it in a little further. Maybe trying to pull that right knee over towards our right shoulder. And we'll take that right hand around the right knee. We'll bring the left hand out to the side for counterbalance, and we'll slowly start opening that right knee over to the right. And then slowly we'll start bringing that right knee into tree pose. You can bring that right foot in to your thigh, to your calf, or even tenting it down on the ground, toes on the ground. You can place it anywhere but on your knee. And hands can be out at the side, hands can be in prayer. You're welcome to extend your branches. You can bring your hands above your head. Whatever feels good here. And maybe try taking a little back bend here if your balance allows it. Pulling your belly button into your spine, reaching your sternum up towards the sky. Tilting your chin, or opening up your neck, but tucking your chin back in. Maybe even coming into a cactus back bend here. And hands will reach back up. And we'll go ahead and release the leg. And you can shake them out here for a moment. And we'll inhale, hands to prayer, or inhale, arms up. Exhale, hands to prayer. This time we're going to ground into the right foot. So pick up those right toes, press into all four corners of the right foot, and then press the right toes back down. Come up on the left toes and slowly start bringing your left leg in towards your chest, using your hands to bring it close to your left armpit. Releasing your right arm out to the side for counterbalance, taking that left hand and using it to pull that left knee out to the side. And then bringing that left foot over and into tree pose, placing that foot wherever it's comfortable for you. Can be with your toes on the ground, with your toes on your calf, or up at your thigh, as long as you're not pressing against your knee here. Arms can be wherever helps you with balance. If you'd like to take a little bit more of a challenge, maybe try that back bend again, pulling your belly button into your spine, lifting your sternum as your gaze goes up towards the ceiling, maybe coming into that cactus back bend as well, pulling your shoulder blades together here. And reaching back up. We'll bring our knee to center and slowly bring it back down towards the ground. Shaking out your legs here a little bit if you need it. And exhaling, swan diving down to that forward fold. Go to the other side so it's a little bit easier to see here. Come up to that halfway lift. Forward fold. Plant the hands and you're going to step the right foot back about 2/3 of the way onto the mat. We're going to come into warrior one, so you want your foot out at about a 45-degree angle. Maybe heel toe your left foot to the left a little bit if you need to. And slowly we're going to reach our arms up to the sky. We want to make sure that our hips are both facing forward here, that we're pulling our belly button into our spine, standing up nice and tall, pressing equally into both legs here. That left knee shouldn't be going past our toes. We'll reach our arms up, holding this warrior one position, maybe bending into that left knee a little bit more, deepening our warrior one pose. Reaching up tall through the crown of the head. We'll bring our arms out to a T and we'll wrap our left arm underneath our right arm, coming into eagle arms. You can wrap them once or wrap them twice. And slowly we're going to come into a little back bend here, lowering our shoulders, raising our elbows, and bending back, lifting our sternum towards the sky, walking our eyes up to the ceiling, tucking your chin in. And we'll come back to neutral. We're going to rotate to the right so that we are coming into a straddle position. Inhale, arms reach up, and as you exhale, start to fold forward here. Feet are parallel to the short edges of the mat. And we're gonna release our arms so that each hand is going towards our opposite leg. So right hand extends towards that left leg, left hand towards the right leg, and grab onto whatever you can, whether it be your thighs, your shins, whatever is available to you, and use that to pull yourself into a deep forward fold here. Trying to use your breath to pull yourself a little deeper into the fold. Inhale to extend your spine. Exhale to draw yourself a little bit deeper into the stretch. Taking a few more breaths like this. And then we'll slowly release our hands down to the mat, pressing both of our hands underneath our nose, lifting up halfway here. Placing our right hand underneath our nose as we sweep our left arm up to the sky, twisting to the left here. Trying to stack our shoulders, opening up as much as we can. And slowly we'll lower our left hand back down to the mat underneath our nose as we sweep our right arm up to the sky, twisting open to the right here. Trying to stack our shoulders and twist as much as we can. And our hand will come back down next to each other. We'll start walking our hands over to the left foot. We will point that left foot forward, coming into low lunge again, except we're going to come into lizard. So both of our hands will be inside the left foot. We'll drop the right knee down to the mat. We're going to come into lizard here. So your lizard position can be here, or if you'd like a little bit more, you can open your lizard by coming on to the blade edge of that left foot and opening the knee here from the hip, opening the knee from the hip, letting The hip release, opening up a little bit, and you can stay here. If you'd like a little bit more, you're welcome to come down onto your forearms. Whether you're on your forearms or on your hand, you're welcome to bring that left arm up to your thigh if you'd like to bring a little bit of a twist into this. You're welcome to bring the left fingertips behind the ear. Or if you'd like to take it into a quad stretch as well as a hip opener, you can bend that right knee, reach the left arm back, and try and grab those right toes with your left hand. This is your practice, so just take this position to whatever feels comfortable and good to your body here. And if you grab those right toes, go ahead and release them. Start bringing your your left hand back inside of the foot. If you are on that blade edge of the left foot, go ahead and bring your left knee back in. We'll come up on the right toes. We'll frame that left foot, bringing the left hand outside of the left foot. And we'll step that right foot in, coming into forward fold. I'm going to go to the other side once again. And we'll lift ourselves up halfway here, coming up with a flat back and exhaling back into that forward fold. This time we're going to plant the hands and we're going to step the left foot back about 2/3 of the way on the mat. Maybe heel toe the right foot out to the right a little bit. That left foot is at a 45-degree angle, and slowly we'll sweep our arms up, coming into that warrior one pose. Both of our hips are facing forward here. Arms are reaching up. Belly button is pulled into spine. Back is long and flat. Maybe we'll bend into that right knee a little bit more, deepening the pose here. And we'll bring our arms out to a T. Our right arm will wrap under our left, either single or double wrapping for eagle arms here. We're going to bring our shoulders away from our ears at the same time, lifting our elbows up. Take an inhale here, and as we exhale, we'll start to bend back, pulling our belly buttons into our spine, lifting our sternum towards the ceiling, walking our eyes up to the ceiling, maybe across the ceiling, tucking our chin back, coming into this back bend here. And inhale, we'll slowly come back to center. We're going to pivot the feet, coming to the left, coming into that wide-legged straddle once again. Inhale here, taking a little back bend, and as we exhale, we're going to begin folding forward once again. Opposite hand will come to opposite leg, reaching whatever's available to us. Taking an inhale to lengthen our spine and exhaling, drawing ourselves a little deeper into the stretch. Maybe with your breath, you can begin walking your hands a little bit further down your legs. Pulling yourself deeper into the stretch here. And slowly we'll release our hands down to the mat underneath our nose. And we'll begin walking our hands back behind us to deepen the stretch a little bit. Using your fingertips to grip the floor of the mat to pull yourself deeper. And then slowly walking your fingers back forward again. We're going to continue walking our fingers in front of us. As we come forward, we're going to come up on the toes into a wide-legged plank position. We're only going to hold it for a moment here, but make sure that you are keeping your spine straight, your belly button is pulled into your spine, your back is long and flat, and then keeping your hands exactly where they are. You're going to start pressing your feet back, coming back, landing the heels down so we come into a wide-legged downward facing dog pose. And we're spreading the fingertips wide as we press our chest back towards our thighs. to get the most out of this stretch here. Pressing our heels into the mat, pressing our hands into the floor. And slowly we'll start walking our hands. We'll keep our feet exactly where they are, and we'll start walking our hands over to the right, coming into a sort of a side down dog with wide legs. And we'll begin walking our hands back to center, making sure we're keeping the integrity of this pose here, making sure that we're pressing into the hands, pressing our chest back towards our thighs. And then we'll walk our hands slightly off center, a little bit to the left here for a wide-legged down dog, a wide-legged side down dog. And walk our hands back to center, pressing our hands strongly into the floor, pressing our chest back towards our thighs. One more time. And walk your hands back underneath your nose, and you're going to pivot that right foot coming into lizard towards the top of your mat with your right foot in front. And we'll drop the left knee down to the mat here. And you're welcome to stay on your hands, or you can come down to your forearms, either way. Whatever is comfortable for you and whatever works for your body. And we'll come up on the blade edge of the right foot, or you can stay here in closed lizard, or you can come up on the blade edge of that right foot, opening that right knee out to the side here, coming into open lizard. And you're welcome to stay here, or you can bring that right hand to your right thigh to sort of press it out a little bit further. You can bring your right hand behind your head, or if you'd like to add the hip opener, go ahead and bend that left knee, bringing the left foot in towards the glute, reaching the right hand back to grab onto those left toes. Wherever you are, we'll take a few breaths here. And if you grabbed onto the left toes, go ahead and release them. Bring your right hand back inside of your right foot. Bring your right foot back to the ground. Tucking those left toes under, we'll frame that right foot, and we'll step the left foot in, coming into forward fold here. Halfway lift, forward fold. Now we'll leave our hips down low as we reach our arms up high, coming into chair pose here. Keeping our back long and flat, pulling our belly button into our spine, sitting back into our hips. And we'll bring our arms back behind us for thunder chair. Go ahead and clasp your hands behind your back here. And slowly begin straightening your legs as you come into forward fold, and your clasped knuckles coming up over your head like you're trying to touch them down to the ground in front of you. And bending back into the knees, coming into chair pose once again. We'll release the hands and swan dive down to that forward fold. Come to the other side so you can see me. And we'll step that right leg back, coming into low lunge here. We'll place the right hand inside of that right foot as we sweep the left arm up to the sky, coming into easy twist. Arms are one long straight line. Stacking the arms here, stacking the shoulders. And we'll come back down to frame the foot. We'll pivot that right foot so that it's parallel to the short edge of the mat. And we'll cartwheel our hands open, coming into warrior two pose. Taking a minute to check our alignment here, making sure we're pressing equally into both legs, rotating our thighs outward like we're trying to press ourselves up against the wall behind us, tucking our tailbone in, pulling our belly button into our spine, torso straight up and down, shoulders roll back and down, gazes over those left fingertips. And we'll reverse our warrior, bringing that left arm up and over our ear, extending through those left fingertips, reaching as far as we can. And we'll bring that left hand down to the thigh, reaching our right arm up and over, coming into side angle here. Keeping the chest open and lifted, reaching through those right fingertips. And we'll cartwheel our hands up back to warrior two. We're going to bring our hands together as we pivot that left foot in so that both feet are facing forward. Pivot the right foot out, coming into warrior two towards the back of the mat here. Once again, keeping the integrity of this pose, pressing equally into both thighs, rotating our thighs outward like we're trying to press ourselves up against the wall behind us, tucking our tailbone in, belly button pulled into spine, torso straight up and down, shoulders roll back and down here. Gazes over those right fingertips as we flip the palm and reverse our warrior, reaching up and over our head through those right fingertips, reaching as much as we can. And our right arm will come down to our right thigh, reaching the left arm up and over, coming into side angle. Keeping the chest open and lifted here, reaching through those left fingertips. And we'll float the arms back up into warrior two. Pivot the feet so they're parallel to the short edge of the mat. And pivot that left foot coming into warrior two on the left side once again. And we'll flip the palm and reverse our warrior here. And we'll bring that left forearm down towards our thigh, coming into side angle. We'll lift ourselves back up into warrior two. Pivot the feet so they're parallel. And fly the warrior over to the right side here. Right palm lifts. Reversing our warrior, reaching out through those right fingertips. Right forearm comes down to the thigh, left arm stretches up and over that left ear, reaching out through the fingertips, keeping the chest open and lifted. And we'll come back to warrior two. We'll straighten the legs and fly our warrior back to the left. We'll reverse our warrior here. This time go ahead and straighten that left front leg, coming into reverse triangle. Arms will come out to a T. We'll reach long through those left fingertips as far as we can before bringing that left hand down. If you have a block, you're welcome to place it on there or on your leg or on the mat, whatever is available to you. Keeping the arms in one long straight line, stacking the shoulders here. Gaze can be down at the floor, out in front of you, or up at those right fingertips. And bending into that right knee, we'll cartwheel our arms up and over, reversing our warrior. Coming back to warrior two. Pivoting the feet, coming to star pose. Pivoting that right foot, flying our warrior over to warrior two on the other side. Reversing our warrior here. Straightening that right front leg as we come into reverse triangle. Arms will come out to a T. We'll reach out long and far through that right arm. We'll reach as far as we can before dropping it down to a block, to our leg, to the floor, whatever's available to us. Making sure that we're keeping that chest open and lifted, that we're not collapsing into this pose, that our arms are long and straight, shoulders are stacked. And bending into that right knee, we'll cartwheel our arms up and over, reversing our warrior here. coming into warrior two, pivoting our feet, flying our warrior over to the other side, bending into that left knee, reversing our warrior once again, cartwheeling our hands down to frame that left front foot, stepping the right foot into forward fold here, halfway lift, forward fold, and we'll plant the hands and step the feet, walk the feet back to plank, and begin lifting our hips up to downward facing dog. Pressing into the hands, spreading the fingertips wide, pressing our chest back towards our thighs here. We'll begin by lifting that left leg up high to the sky. And then we'll start opening the hips, stacking the hips here, bending into that left knee, bringing the left knee up towards the ceiling, opening the hips, stacking them. And slowly we'll begin bringing that left knee in towards our chest, and then we'll bring that left knee down to the ground, and we'll come into a modified side plank on the left knee, reaching the right arm up to the sky, the right toes are on the ground, the left knee is on the ground. And we'll go ahead and we'll reach that right arm up and over our head, and you're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like a little bit more, you can bend that right elbow in at the same time bringing that right knee in and extending out long. Bend the right knee in towards the right elbow and extend out long. Crunch in and extend. Crunch in and extend. We'll go ahead and do one more here. Extending out long. We'll bring our right hand back down. We'll lift up that left knee and we'll press ourselves back up into downward facing dog. Move to the other side so you can see me. We'll lift that right leg up high to the sky for three-legged down dog, and then we'll begin opening the hip. So we will bend that right knee, bringing the right knee up towards the ceiling as we stack the hips here. Opening it up, maybe gazing under that right armpit if our body allows it. We'll bring the right knee in towards the chest and bring the right knee down to the ground. As we come up on that right hand, lifting the left hand up, coming into a modified side plank here. And you're welcome to stay here or bring that left arm up and over your head. Crunch that left elbow in towards your left knee and extend out. Crunch in and extend. Crunch in and extend. Crunch in and extend. And we'll do one more. We'll bring the hands back down. This time we'll come into tabletop position and we'll roll ourselves down to easy seated pose. And we're gonna open our legs up here, coming into a wide-legged straddle. And then we'll bring the left foot in towards the groin. Reaching that right leg out, we'll go ahead and flex the right toes. We'll turn our torso to the right. Arms will reach up, and slowly as we exhale, we'll bend over that right leg here. Grabbing onto our shin, our ankle, our foot, whatever is available to us. Taking a few breaths here. Inhaling to find length in your spine. Exhaling to draw your nose a little closer to your knee. Inhaling to find length. Exhaling to deepen the stretch. Go ahead and take a few more breaths, drawing yourself as deeply into the stretch as you can, making sure you're keeping that right foot flexed here. And then on your next inhale, you're going to reach your left arm up above your head and place it down behind your glutes. And then you're gonna reach your right arm up and over. At the same time, you're gonna come up on that left knee, lifting your hips up high, coming into gate pose. Lifting your hips, opening your heart here. And gently drop your hips back down. And cartwheel your hands back to frame that right foot, folding over the right leg. Inhale, reaching the left arm up above your head, right arm follows, left arm places as we lift the hips, coming up on that left knee here, lifting the hips, opening the heart, and exhaling back down over that leg. And go ahead and flow a few more times like this with your own breath, as fast or as slow as feels good to you. Just enjoying the stretch here. Opening yourself up. And we'll go ahead and take one more flow. Maybe this time as you cartwheel your hands down to frame that right leg, maybe you can pull yourself a little bit deeper into the stretch. Breathing into it a final moment before lifting yourself up. Bringing your left leg out for straddle, bringing your right foot in towards your groin. Twisting your torso to the left, flexing that left foot, sitting up nice and tall here. Inhale, reaching up, and exhale, leg. Inhaling to find length in your spine, exhaling to draw yourself a little deeper into the stretch. Inhaling to find length, exhaling to deepen the stretch here. Using your breath to get yourself as deep in the stretch as your body allows. And on your next inhale, you'll reach your right arm up to the sky, place the right arm behind your glutes, reaching that left arm up, you'll come up on the right knee as you lift the hips, opening the heart, coming into gate pose, and slowly begin bringing your hips back down towards the ground as you bend back over that left leg here. Inhaling once again, reaching up and over, lifting the hips, opening the heart, coming into gate. And exhaling your hips back down, folding over the leg here. And go ahead and continue flowing like this with your own breath, as fast or as slow as feels good to your body here. And we'll flow this one last time. And as you come back to folding over the left leg, see if you can pull yourself a little bit deeper into the stretch than you've gone on the previous times. Now that your body is nice and open, and slowly begin rolling yourself back up to seated. We'll bring our legs in. Place your left knee down on the ground, your left knee out in front of you, and we'll bring that right knee bent and cross it over the left leg. So the right foot is planted on the ground, the left knee is down. We'll take that left arm and we'll wrap it over the right leg. Right arm will reach up, and slowly we'll twist ourselves open to the right, dropping that right arm behind us. Sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head here. for a little twist. Really make sure we're sitting up nice and tall and extending through the crown of the head, not slouching into this pose. And we'll bring our right arm back up to center, centering our bodies. We'll uncross our legs, bring our right leg down to the ground, cross our left leg over our right. Our left foot bottom is on the ground. We'll wrap our right arm around that left knee, pulling it in close to us, sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head, extending that left arm up, twisting to the left, and placing that left hand down behind us. Using that to pull ourselves deeper into this twist. Sitting up nice and tall, lifting through the crown of the head. Using your hands to pull your body deeper into this twist here. And slowly bringing your left arm back up and over, coming back to center, bringing your legs out long in front of you, maybe giving them a little shake, giving your arms a little shake here. And we're gonna bring ourselves over to a wall if you have it. Hopefully you do. We'll see how this goes on the window. We're going to bring our hips up to the wall. And then we're slowly going to roll onto our backs here, bringing our legs up the wall, extending our feet first, and then crossing our right heel over our left thigh. We're going to come into like a reclined pigeon on the wall. And we're going to start walking our left foot down, pulling that left knee in as we grab behind the left leg, pushing out with our right elbow onto the right leg. You can extend your leg up in the air and start pulling that left leg down towards your face while you press that right leg out. Or you can keep your foot on the wall and walk your foot to whatever position you feel this hip stretch the most. This is a hip opener here, so if you need to bring your glutes closer to the wall, you can, and start walking your foot down to feel the hip opener. Or if you'd like to bring your left leg up to the sky, you're welcome to do that as well. It's your class, do whatever feels good to your body. And we'll extend that left leg up and go ahead and uncross that right leg. If you need to bend them a little bit, you're welcome to. Bring that right leg up to the wall. Cross that left ankle over the right leg, and either bending into that right knee, bring the left knee down towards you as you grab behind that right thigh. Or you can slowly begin walking that right foot down the wall till you feel the hip opener. So whatever works best for you, either with your leg extended up, pulling that right leg in, at the same time pushing the left leg away with your elbow, or walking that right foot down the wall, pressing into the left leg with your elbow. Whatever helps you feel the best hip opener for your body. And we'll take a few more breaths here, deepening into this stretch, and gently we will begin walking that right leg back up the wall, extending that left leg as well. Bringing your hips up against the wall here. Coming into legs up the wall. And go ahead and rotate your shoulders behind. And you have two options here, or I guess a lot of options, but you're welcome to stay here and take your Shavasana and legs up the wall, or you're welcome to come back down to your mat and take a regular Shavasana, whatever is going to feel best to you. So go ahead and find the position you'd like for your final relaxation. Whatever it may be, make sure you're rolling your shoulder blades under. And go ahead and close your eyes here and take a few moments to just breathe. Relax into your body. Be thankful for everything that your body did for you today. Be thankful that you took this time out for yourself. You can come back to the intention you set for your practice. If you dedicated your practice to someone, you're welcome to think about that as well. And then we'll just take a few moments here, letting our bodies completely relax. I invite you to stay in Shavasana as long as you'd like. I wish you health and happiness. Thank you for sharing your practice with me today. Namaste.